Okay, hello. There. I am. Where are we here? Okay. And boy, I am tired. What are we even doing today? Okay, so let's put some music on. I'm already half an hour late for my stated beginning time. Do 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 do. Sure. Okay. So, all right. Let's see what we're doing today. Let's make a new note for the day. We're gonna call it 2021 dash 07 dash 29 Twitch stream. Oh, y'all can't see that at all, can ya? Is that visible? Still barely visible. Yeah, it's getting there. Yeah, it's visible-ish. Visible-ish. There you go. Twitch stream. What are we doing here today? Making tutorials? I think? I don't know. So what's the goal? I think the goal is make a Google Colab tutorial demo, which I don't know how to do that, or even if I did, I don't really know how that works. But so we're gonna give that a shot. I also think I would really like to find a way to have like a really easy way to do a like 60-second update. Remote cap development update, because like I think it'd be really helpful for people if I kind of like, hey, Epsipolim, that seems like an unfamiliar username. Welcome to the stream. Oh, and Lazy Vanguard, hello to you too. I can't remember if I've seen your name before, but if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Oh, and Jaffoyo is also here. Hello. And Mycon. Good old Mycon. How you doing? I'm just sitting here trying to combobulate myself, which is always a challenge. Doing good. It's been interesting sort of now that the... Thanks, Jeffoyo. But yeah, it's Mycon, you've been around since before I did this public release thing, so now it's kind of like an interesting change of pace now that people are watching and paying attention. So, and I'm kind of trying to, because like my capacity for working on this stuff is limited, and there's a lot of interest in people sort of interested in using this thing, and a lot of people are interested in like helping out with development, which is awesome, but like also I don't really like managing an open source project is not something I've done before either, so like that's also going to have to be kind of like something that I think on my feet. And so last week we, sort of collected, sort of like wrote down some notes about like communities of interest and who's asking for what, which has been helpful. Haven't really like made good on that, but and one of the things that came out of that was that there really needs to be some like tutorials and introductions and stuff like that set up. So we'll see about doing some of that today. The other thing, let's see, so I can record. Wait, I can record? Record, testing. Where does that go? So oh, hello, people are showing up. I guess probably the pings have reached relevant locations. Hey, how's it going, Albert? Thanks. I just came from work, which is why I'm like a couple minutes out. Tuesday, Gloomsday. You gloomy Pete. Hello. Welcome. You've been pinged. I have mixed feelings about the Twitch pings kind of like targeting everyone. It's kind of an opt-out ping, but everybody gets automatically added to it, so it sort of pushes red at everybody, which feels a little aggressive, but also I think it's kind of helpful to have people sort of funneled in this direction. I don't know. We can, at some point, we'll have some kind of community conversation about if there's a better way to do that. Yeah, it's kind of what I figured. So, and it's not that aggressive. It's like once a week, at best. So, start replay buffer. Okay, so what am I doing today? So I think what I'd like to do, I know that this will be, yeah, I've seen that before actually. I've tried with that. I've tried doing that in other servers, and it does work. But I think that the Twitch ping, I don't know, I think I'll keep it on default. I've been thinking about like different roles in the server right now. It's kind of just like everybody, and then there's like a couple of mods, but not very many. But like at some point, I think it might make sense to differentiate people into like development, like coder development types, like just animator users, like scientific users. But I've seen it's what's it called? Me6, the bot has methods for doing that, where you make a ping, you make a post, and then you identify, like, if you respond with this one, you get added to this role. You respond to this one, you get added to this role. And it works pretty well. But, in the fullness of time. Okay, let me see something real quick. What is this going into? There's a little, on my Streamlabs thing, there's like a button right here that says record, and I'm wondering, so I'm recording now, but I don't know, I wonder where that goes to. That's cool. That's what it would look like if I subscribed. Yeah, I'm wondering where that is though, or how to find it. Probably in the videos folder. Yeah, I want to switch to OBS on accounts of the, I guess I'll hide this from you guys. Documents, videos. Yeah. 27, 29. Yeah. So I'm recording now. Oh, there you go. I wonder if where that goes to. Oh, okay. That's where it goes to. Yeah, it just goes to videos. Yeah, my own. I definitely want to do it. I have it on my computer. It's just literally like, um, I have a really bad habit of not thinking like that's classic open source stuff, right? Like, I will switch to OBS at some point. The problem is like right now, Streamlabs is just it's the first one I picked because when I was like exploring this, I just Googled what's everyone used, and there's like this one was slightly more popular, so I use that. And then now it's just like I don't plan ahead for Twitch streams. I just sort of click go and it goes. But now that I'm like kind of living that open source life, I feel like I should be using open source software more. So OBS is on the docket. Glitch Robot, how you doing? I have not had a chance to look at your Plotly plots yet, unfortunately, but I will be doing so. Okay, let's do this. Now that I know how to do that recording, I want to do I'm thinking what I would like to do is record like on these like weekly streams, record like a 60-second update. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I guess open source just means that it's open, doesn't mean that it's like chill. Casey Muratori. I don't know who that is. Who are you, Casey Muratori? That's that guy. Ah. Cool. Alright. That might be below my depth. But yeah, okay. Let's see. So I'm gonna do a quick sort of recording. Oh, cool. I should check that out. I think I'm not going to plan this out. I think I'm just going to talk for 60 seconds about the state of life. Am I? What I want to... I'll map some stuff out. So I want to talk about public release, I guess. Release. I want to talk about open pose CUDA concern. I just talked about media pipe development, no CUDA version. What else? GUI on the horizon. Blender add-on soonish. Anything else? I'll talk about this. And then GitHub projects / roadmap. Okay. That should be enough for 60 seconds. Let's see, let's turn this music down a little bit. Does it give me a timer if I do that? It does, okay. All right, do I need to combobulate myself further? Oh, I forgot to put water in this, whoops. Okay. So I'll put this here. Okay. Ready? And let's see. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right. Hello, everybody. So I am going to be recording a 60-second update on the state of the Free Mocap project for those who don't watch the Twitch stream. So first of all, we did a public release of this thing a week or so ago, and there was a lot of interest. A lot of people sort of in the Discord server now and on the following the Free Mocap Twitter, which is super awesome. This is a new space for me. This is okay. That's 60 seconds might be a little that was already 30 seconds. Let's say I'll just talk. I'm gonna try to keep it under. I'll definitely keep it under 3 minutes. But 60 seconds might be a little. That requires a little more. Maybe someday. You're not gonna fit it all in 60 seconds, and if I did, it would be it would be too terse. I've been on TikTok too long. 60 seconds is a high bar. Okay. Take 2. And a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So hello again. Shit. You can't say hello again if you're doing if it's you're not going to show that again. Okay. It's weird because like I'm like so like Twitch is already Twitch is already kind of a weird headspace because of like the asymmetric nature of it. And so now, and it's like taking me a second to kind of get used to like, I actually will be eventually like sort of doing stuff for this on TikTok. But for now, I feel like I've got my hands full with the things currently, everything now. So I don't feel like I need to add a new platform. Plus TikTok tends to skew much younger. And so I feel like it makes sense to get things a little more stable and usable before like really branching out to that dimension. But ultimately the goal of this is actually to kind of like target people who are like as an educational thing, so it makes sense to sort of go to a TikTok situation. The youths, you know what youths do. What youths do. Yeah, we'll see. Time is long. Okay, let's do this again. Yeah, education's always been the goal. Okay, we're gonna do this thing now. And I want that for you too, Jafoyo. We'll get you there. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon, and for the rest of your life. Oh my God, I will ignore you. Actually, I am going to legitimately ignore you, and I'm going to turn this off of the screen, and I'm going to shrink this down, just on the box. I'm sorry. No, I feel bad. You can be on the screen. I'll just add you there. You can say hi. Actually, there you go. Okay. Doing the thing. Now you can say hi. You can say hi, Mom. Okay, we're gonna do this thing now. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hello. So just giving a quick update on the state of the Free Mocap project for them of y'all that don't watch the Twitch stream. Thursday afternoons, U.S. Eastern Time. So first thing, we did a public release on Twitter and got a lot of attention, which is awesome. So people going into the Discord server and following the Free Mocap Twitter, which is great, a lot of interest. Also kind of a new space for me. I've never really managed an open source project like this, which is super exciting, a little bit daunting. So please pardon our dust and be patient while we sort of figure out the best way to organize something like this. Sort of things that are on the immediate horizon is I'm going to be making sort of a roadmap kind of object on the GitHub page on the tab that says projects. We'll sort of list the big kind of features and development based on what people have asked for and sort of the communities of interest that have been expressing interest in this. Some of the big ones that I need are I need to make some sort of more tutorials, more documentation. That's super important. Doesn't really exist right now, so that's going to be on the horizon. Possibly I might start working on that like on this stream. The other big development I think we're fairly close to a media pipe implementation that will work for this system. The current thing up here is mostly reliant on OpenPose, which has some advantages, but also has a bunch of disadvantages. It's super slow, it's hard to install, CUDA is required, and it has kind of a strange license. So if we can get MediaPipe working, that will, I think, make it be available for people without NVIDIA graphics cards. It will work much faster, and it's licensed under Apache 2, so it's much more sort of permissive to use. So keep you updated on that. That might happen quickly, or it might take a long time. I'll let you know. Also, a Blender add-on is also soon in development. I already have a version of that from a previous iteration of this that just needs to be updated to work with the new software. For the time being, that's going to be fairly basic. It mostly will just load in data from FreeMocap, basically loading in the skeleton guy up there into a Blender scene, and then you can sort of do whatever you want with that. And then the next thing on the horizon is a GUI-based controller. Right now, everything is being controlled through source code, which is obviously doesn't really jive with the sort of central premise of making an easy-to-use motion capture system. But now that the code-based version is starting to stabilize, we're going to be looking at a GUI, probably using something like PyQt and PyQt Graph to make a sort of fully GUI-based thing, with sort of the goal being to make a GUI that doesn't hide the underlying mechanics, so that you can use the GUI-based version, but doing so will still teach you a lot of the mechanics and the computational aspects under the hood. That is 3 minutes. That's all I said. It's longer than I said it was going to take. I'll get faster with this next time, but those are the major updates, and see you next week. Bye. Okay, I did that thing. What's this? OpenAI. If I click on this, Nikon, you're trustworthy in terms of links. Development repository and language compiler. Ooh. Interesting. That is cool. Check this out. Star. To be perfectly honest, I don't really understand like deep learning stuff like that. It's a little beyond my own personal ken. But even though I use it in my job. Yeah, so Tonician. What did we see on there? Tonician asking about a public-facing roadmap or something like Trello. Currently, not so much, but that was something. I think I'm going to be using this projects tab to do something like that. I kind of like the idea of keeping everything kind of like within GitHub, at least for the time being, just because it's sort of, there's already enough going on, like that's new for me in this space. that I kind of like the idea of keeping things together. So what I think I'm going to be doing is, first of all, like on just kind of keeping this more or less Discord and GitHub. Yeah, is that a yeah? I don't even know where I picked that one up. I know it's definitely like a. I feel like I picked it up from like fantasy novels. um, but I'm also glad to hear. I mean, clearly I've got some of that blood in me. My beard is red in different lights. I don't know if it looks red in this context, but I'm actually a sort of Welsh Syrian, I think, is my genetic background. Um, but but yeah, I think sort of managing this project through a combination of Discord and GitHub, and the projects tab here allows it's still Kanban, Trello-ish sort of boards, and it can sort of be very easily linked to issues and things like that. So I hope to be kind of fleshing out this soon and connecting it to the Discord server. So right now, so this is the Discord server. It's not bad. I kind of like it. We sort of cleared out a lot of the, I think, unnecessary channels. There's still maybe too many, but I think having some more dedicated like development channels, like there's ways to have links that sort of pull directly from GitHub for like when commits are added or issues come up, you can have it sort of linked to Discord, so you can have have conversations on Discord about things on GitHub and vice versa. So to answer your question, Tonician, we don't. Well, I guess we do technically have a public roadmap of sorts in the form of this projects tab on GitHub, but I'm working on making something that's a little bit better, sort of something more structured and interesting, but it's a work in progress. Everything's a work in progress. I guess another sort of personal update is that the last paper, I'm almost maybe done. Maybe by tomorrow I'll be able to submit a paper that's basically like the last paper from my postdoc era, which will be great because once that is out the door, then I can actually start like programming and coding on this. Because I shifted my attention. Thank you. I shifted my attention away from that paper so I could get this release out. Yeah, that's my 1 second. I shifted my attention away from that paper to get this sort of release out, and then I got this release out, and I was like, okay, I really need to get this paper out. Like, the revisions have been due for like months now. So I had to sort of, it's been kind of uncomfortable because like, as there's been all this interest in the free mocap thing, I've had to like work on this older writing project that's sort of, I don't know how many pages it is actually. Oh, Nade Nade. I recognize you. You're just a single Nade. Smackelmans is here. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hello. Oh. Would you guys like to see? Oh. Never mind. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's fairly long as far as scientific papers goes, but it's hard to judge length because the format changes so dramatically. So we'll see. I'll definitely let people know when that gets published, but it'll still be a couple months because it's got to go through the editorial process and all that. MOA development. I don't know much about how game engines work under the hood, but Yeah, I mean, that kind of gets down to rigging, I guess, right? Kind of my hope there is that's kind of why I want to build that Blender plugin for this, is because like I don't understand that world at all, but I know that this has been sort of one of the interesting things about this. Not particularly unexpected, but it's been interesting how hi. Uh, you kind of you notice the people that are interested in this, and game designers, indie game designers have been one of the most interested in vocal groups. Indie game designers, animators, and then like human researchers like me, sort of, and old Albert Hottest Damnus Namnus. But so that's kind of why I want to, even if I can just build a plugin that loads like sample data into Blender, that would sort of give folks, so that's I study human. Yeah, I'm a professor of human movement neuroscience. That's my job. And I definitely, actually, my bachelor's degree was in philosophy, but I switched to cognitive science for my PhD. Yeah, thanks, Micon. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of, that's kind of my hope, is to sort of, and that's kind of what I think an important. Oh, IT. No, definitely not. I've worked at like computer shops, like through college. I worked at various hardware shops. Yeah, I mean that's kind of one of the cool things, Moa, about this, like about this project, is like, you know, I want to record humans so I can do scientific research to like support my like funded research. You are gonna be famous. This is all for you, Albert. um, but it's sort of like, in the development of this, I kind of, yeah, well, over a sort of unhealthy focus on ethical ramifications of activities, and, oh, that's cool. Yeah. I think it's kind of, there's a really interesting overlap between like animation and game design and the study of human movement, because both are sort of communities of people that are interested in accurately recording freely behaving humans, and that's kind of a part of this project, is because I am like an NIH funded scientist, I have access to a lot of resources that most artists don't. And I think, hmm that's cool. Yeah, and so I kind of like, I'm hoping that I can kind of, build kind of bridges and sort of use, like, if I can develop, this tool as like a scientific apparatus, but sort of build it in a way that is accessible to artists and animators and game designers, things like that. That could potentially be a really sort of powerful combination, because then you kind of, it's sort of like the blending of art and science and sort of that whole thing. And if we can make video game designers use the same tools as like neuroscientists and clinicians, then that's all of a sudden a really interesting sort of like lateral avenue between people who are sort of motivated by game design and animation, and like more like highfalutin careers in like science and medicine and things like that. Seems like fun to me. uh, um oh, nice. Epic Mega Grant. That's interesting. Let me look at that. Let me see. Notes. Ah, Epic Mega Grant. Okay, a lot of stuff in chat right now. Let's see what I can do. So the best off-market tools I have access to. It's not. Cool. Money. Notes. I wouldn't say I have access to like off-market stuff. It's more just like stuff that like, why would you bother to buy this? So like eye tracker is one. I have like EMGs or another, like to measure like muscle activity. The main thing, the grant money, I assume is grant money. The main thing that I have had access to up until now is motion capture. Yeah, right. It's kind of cool. So like I have a motion capture lab, like a big expensive, classical scientific motion capture lab. Like yeah, containing like $200,000+ worth of motion capture equipment. And I've had access to stuff like that for most of my career, and it sort of like dawned on me during the pandemic that like there really weren't any good options out there for for people to do motion capture. Yeah, like the classical sort of stuff. Yeah. And so this system was sort of this is kind of like the reason why I was able to make this is because I've been working with traditional motion capture for over a decade now, so I kind of understand intuitively how it works, and so this development is kind of just taking my understanding of the traditional side of motion capture and applying it to markerless tracking. And yeah, kind of the move to make this sort of a free open source software was something that kind of came about during the pandemic. We're actually doing some of that now. Comparing the data, and it does this does a pretty good job. It's got a lot of disadvantages. It's actually like, the other one records like 300 frames per second and all that kind of stuff, but. And it's like huge capture volume. I have like 27 cameras for that one. There's only 4 cameras for this one, but the comparison is actually pretty promising. It looks pretty good. So I think at some point there's going to have to be like a validation thing that happens to to do the comparison. See, this is the guy we like. What are we looking at here? What I'd really be interested with here, because I'm currently funded. I have like startup money from my position at my job, my university position, and also I have another year or two, or depending on how you count, of grant money from the NIH. But that's so I'm not currently hurting for cash. So, like, grants are hard to apply for. But that said, I have a relatively small lab at this point. I don't know if any of them are on right now. Looking through the names, I'm not seeing any. But this is good to know. Let's see. What are we talking about? What can I do? How much money? Anyways, we'll take a look at that. Micon, I have used some of the Valve, or I guess not Valve, Vive. I'm not angling to get bought out. I'm actually angling to not get bought out. That's why I have such like an aggressive license and all that stuff. Like, because there's so many people out there trying to make a buck. This stuff is not patentable. It's software rarely is. I guess it is licensable, but my actual dream here is not to like cash in on this. It's to like sort of support myself. Yeah, no, the mega grant is not, but it's sort of, yeah, it's a grant. Yeah, it's grants are sort of, it's like a donation is kind of the right idea. No, you're right. It's grants are grants are grants. They are granted to you. It's sort of like a gift. But, you know, something like this, because I have access, we'll talk about educational. Not Unreal. This is good to know about. Yeah, I'm not sure how the taxes part works, but yeah. So, Michael, I have used Vive tracking pucks, and they seem to work pretty well. It's kind of it's like a hardware based solution, that sort of integrates well with the VR stuff. This is obviously not that. It's sort of this is more of a software based solution. But yeah. Anyways. Okay. Hold on one moment, please. I'm gonna go fill this with water because I forgot to refill this before the stream again. Everybody pleased. That's cool, Nade. Where are the kitties? They were in here. One of the kitties was in here. Oh, there's Kitty. Here's a cat. Say hello to Pooh. Hi, Pooh. That's cool. Was Blender granted that money through the Mega Grant? Or is that from someone else? Pooh. Hi. Okay. Go in your box. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'm back. She does like that box, but I think she's in an active mood right now. But that's cool that Blender was granted that money through the Mega Grant. That was the thing I was trying to look at. Was like what scale of grant are we talking about here? Are we talking like here's $5,000, or are we talking about like let's go pay some salaries? Because I'm kind of in the go pay some salaries scale of grants, like through my the sort of my position now. But if they're giving out 7-figure grants, that's great. I'm not. I don't think they'll give one to me yet, but we'll see. My plan basically, funding wise, is to I sort of continue to work on my current grant. Awesome. That's cool. Thanks, MOA Development. That you've been. Thanks for your insights here. That's a. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, so like I said, so like in my current position, I have roughly somewhere between 2 to 3 more years of funding in my current sort of with the amount that I currently have and the rate that I'm kind of spending it, and so which sort of strategically means that I could be applying for grants, but arguably it's not the right move to apply for grants if I already have money, because applying for grants is hard and takes a lot of time. So I kind of want to like spend a little bit more time. Yeah, so I kind of like I want to spend some time like developing, both in terms of like making the software better and also in terms of like publishing research that I have been doing on the basis of this software and other sort of related stuff. Because ultimately, like my grants sort of say, I'm saying I'm going to train people and publish research, so I got to do that. And then the hope is that as this sort of progresses, I will kind of be sussing out different sort of avenues for funding. Like this one is a good one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing that here. They kind of, it seems like a cool guy. Epic Mega Grants. It's a very like, I love like kind of like the sort of low level goofball nature of like most software development. It's like the Chrome dinosaur and stuff like that. Like Epic Mega Grant. Like it's not like the NIH and DARPA and them types. They take themselves like quite seriously. That's cool. This is cool to see. Oh yeah, I've been writing mostly. Oh, that's cool. I respect that. Cool. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on. I dig it. Okay. All right. I will definitely be looking into this more. Unreal Dev Grant. This seems like would be the thing. I know Blender also gives out development grants. Again, I'm not quite sure what scale we're talking about here, but uh, Godot. I've heard a lot about Godot. Ah, is Godot kind of like a Is this kind of like a Blender alternative? Like, like a 3D software, like a animation software. Open 3D Foundation. See, there's all these things. Open 3D Foundation. Linux Foundation. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Oh, Unity alternative. Gotcha. Have you guys ever heard of what is it like, UPBGE? Mm-hmm. This is like the sort of the sideline Blender game engine that is currently like, it was a part of Blender and then it was dropped with 2.8, and then like these group of people have like picked it back up and are trying to development in parallel. With the Apricot games. Ah, interesting. What's this guy? Open 3D Foundation. Ah. See, that's cool too. Mm-hmm. Taking notes. Hello, Mr. Squarepeg. How are you? Oh, see, this is why I like Twitch, is because I learn a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have known otherwise, because I am not an animator and I am just recently getting into this. It's been actually really sort of, you know, great. Glad to see you here. Um, I've kind of been like slowly getting more aware of like the animation and game design part of the world because I've been playing with Blender a lot. A lot of the motivation behind the free mocap was also kind of inspiration from Blender, and kind of like, you know, the open source model just seems like a really sort of like cool thing that humans do. um, and I just kind of feel like the scientific community in particular can learn a lot from like your blenders. And so I've been playing with it, and it's kind of it's very interesting to kind of I just like animators and game designers. Yeah, I knew about Big Buck Bunny. That was like one of the first open movies, right? If not the first. And then I didn't realize there was a game of it. That's cool. Um, okay, let's do this. Move you back over here. And then I want to see about Google Colab. How many L's is there? There we go. Because I want to see if I can make... I want to make like a free mocap collab demo if I can. I'm not sure how this works. Let's find out. Runtime. Change runtime type. Hard accelerator. GPU. Save. Right? That's like a lot. Like your like Deep Lab Cut has a lot of like Google Colab demos and whatnot. And I think like the lack of tutorials is sort of a weakness. Okay. Oh. Speaking of Deep Lab Cut, let's do what I always do when I have a question about how to do something, which is copy Deep Lab Cut. Google, GitHub, Deep. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the open post thing, and I thought about using that as a method for people who don't have NVIDIA GPUs. We could like set something up where free mocap operates using a collab iteration of OpenPose. It may still do that, but it's just my problem with Deep Lab Cut is like their stuff moves. Like there used to be like a collab link here, and then they even say that they have one there, but like where is it? There it is, opening collab. Let's see what happens if I do that. I'm trying to just figure out how they do installation. That's what I'm looking for. I want the exclamation point. Let's see. What if I do this? Exclam pip install free mocap. What you gonna do? What does that do? Let's find out. Oh, yes, I can. Thank you. All right, something's happening here. Zoom. Enhance. Is that better? Yeah. Aren't you also... You're somewhere in Asia, right? If I recall correctly. Very far away from me up here in Boston, Massachusetts. Which I... Italy. Okay, so something's happening here. Um, the pip install of FreeMocap installs so many things. It's insane. Um, because it just uses a lot of no fun allowed. Ugh. Um, the problem is I think Colab. Let's see. I think Colab doesn't like it because like the code as it exists kind of pops out GUIs, like as needed, and I don't think that Colab likes that. Um, so I'd have to figure out a method for using the code that doesn't involve GUIs, which should be possible. Shouldn't be too hard um, with the current state of things. But let's just see. Oh, error. Why are you so sad? Wix Python? Yeah, it's something like that. Um, was that you who was asking about the binaries on the Discord server? Um, I would like to make. I think so. I think Wix is, and I think this is actually. I think the Wix problem is a deep lab cut problem. Oh, you were asking about the binaries. Um, well, the answer to both of you is yes. There will. I definitely would like to make a. I would like to make a basically like a standalone application for this thing that works on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Um, and I don't even think that's all that hard. Um, like I think PyInstaller, new radio. Yeah. Um, let's see. Doesn't work. Command errored out. That is one. What was I gonna say? Nice. Um, but yeah, so in terms of binaries and executables and standalone apps and whatnot, that is definitely something going to happen. But I think it might wait. It might. I'll play around with it just to see what it looks like. But I think that the current version doesn't really translate very well to a standalone version because like a lot of the way that I control things now is just by sort of these like very simple like run me scripts. And I don't know what that would look like if I were to turn it into executable, but I can try. But I think the right solution there is to build the GUI for this thing that gives kind of like the right level of control. Cool. And then once that happens, then it would make more sense to make binaries and executables and standalone things. So it's coming. Please be patient. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but it's hard to say. Okay, why didn't pip install correctly? Command aired out status 1. Thank you for your patience. It's been kind of nice that people have been sort of very understanding of like the state of the project. I think it's because open source people tend to be kind of chill. It's not on Conda right now, unfortunately. Like I've only put it on pip. Um, yeah, pretty much. That sounds right. Um, okay. Where did I put the other guy? There we go. Stealing from that. Let's try this. GitHub.com/JohnMathis/free mocap/get free mocap repo. So the current version of the code can only track one person. There's no real hard reason why that is the case. It's just kind of the way we designed it, just for simplicity's sake. I'm currently working with a research group of people who like sort of need multiple person tracking for this to work. OpenPost is happy to track multiple people. Things like MediaPipe I think are still one person, so it's sort of like, again, kind of like different tools for different jobs. So we will be developing multi-person tracking soon. There's some challenges there, but shouldn't be insurmountable. So once that works, 4 cameras in an empty room, depending on the cameras, depending on the room, should work. We'd have to see. I think I can do pip install that. But yeah, I mean, nade, that's kind of the what you're describing is kind of what we're moving towards. Okay. Oh, Wix. Don't you do it. Don't you be a guy. Hey. Guess that worked. Oh, still doesn't like it. Failed building wheel for Wix Python, but... Yep, same guy. Bleh. Let's see. Can you open this? Oh, requirements.txt. So, So the camera lens distortion, like your fisheye distortions, do matter. However, so strictly speaking, the reconstruction that we do for the 3D reconstruction needs undistorted images. Um, but there are that's funny. Um, uh, I'm pretty sure that's Deep Lab Cut that's causing that problem. I think if I just delete that requirement from here, any pose, let's do that. Thank you for looking it up, Tuesday. What was I saying? But yeah, there's Oh, thanks, Rock Wizard. I'm glad you're enjoying me bumbling around and trying to get something working, because that's something I can do. um, Where'd you go? Are we doing you? I'm doing you. Um, but yeah, right. So the reconstruction it can work on cameras with wide field of view and lens distortion, but you need to calibrate them to basically undistort the image. So, but that's something that's relatively easy to do. You use a board like this, and you basically get the lens intrinsics, which is effectively the distortion that you apply to the distorted image to basically, it's like the opposite distortion that is imparted by the fisheye lens. And if you do that, then you can basically treat the image as if it isn't distorted, and then you can do the reconstruction there. So we've kind of been skipping that step by just using cameras that don't have wide field of view. Although you can actually kind of see in this, there's actually, just looking at this now, you can kind of see here that this line is curved. So there actually is some distortion in this image, which realistically is probably causing some distortion here. Although AnyPose claims to correct for that, but when you're doing a non-distortion thing, you kind of do like one of these for the image and kind of like get readings all there. So, and we're not doing that. But the procedure, eventually we're going to want wider field of view cameras. For a lot of reasons, and so the procedure for that is you do a lens calibration, but you only have to really do that once per camera. So if you do that correctly for a given camera, then you can just save the undistortion, and then it will recorrect. Then you can just sort of apply that before you try to do the reconstruction. And in particular, if you're looking at something like a GoPro, like a really common camera, you can actually go and download. Like people have calculated the lens intrinsics, which is just like a series of like 5 or 6 numbers that you can use to undistort the image. And if you do that, then you can reconstruct in the same way that we've been doing here. We have used GoPros before, but we used the linear field of view again just to kind of sidestep that issue. Oh, okay, so that installed. So that's cool. So if can I do this? Import free mocap? Huh? Hey! You imported it. Wait, no, wait. No, we gotta be cool. We can't just import free mocap. That's not cool. Import free mocap as FMC. Ha! See? That's legit. So now... Now I have very little confidence that this next part will do anything, because I think if I just do fmc dot run me, oh, look at all this, ooh, run demo. Let's see if that works. I don't think it will. Nope. Because this is something, it pops up like GUIs and says like select the data you want me to run kind of thing. But if I do fmc.runme, that also won't work. Betting. Nope. Oh, because Deep Labcat's not in there. Use DLC equals false. False. Dweep. Yeah. Oh, so it actually does start. Oh, that's funny. Okay. That's funny. I just like save you save you a click. Um, yeah, so actually, so this first line is actually something that FreeMocap is doing, um, but then it gets to tkinter. So it's trying to like pop up a GUI, and Google Colab is like, we don't do that here. Um, so we should work on. I'll think about. Ah, I understood many of those words. I understood about half of those words. As Run Jim Gazebo on Google Colab says, you need to run a frame buffer server that will emulate the graphical display and create it. Yeah, that's. It looks like that's what you want to hear. Um, First of all, thank you, Tuesday. Um, Secondly, that's. Okay. So that I read that as that there is a solution to that problem. It is probably not a solution I'm going to figure out on the fly right now. So, um, yeah, pretty much. Um, yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I think I might just run it on my end, and I can even. I think I can just. I think I can do it all from scratch. So this is the story of a girl. This is. I think I can actually record this also. Let's try this. Free GitHub John Mathis free mocap. I want to see if I follow these instructions, does that actually work? These are the instructions. Let's see if it actually works. First of all, conda list e. Does that work? No. Conda. Oh, geez. Conda info e. Conda info e. Okay, got a lot of FMCs in there. That's funny. Okay, I will follow these instructions as listed here. So, okay. I should be clear. Like when I say like, I don't know. That shouldn't be clear. It's fine. Conda create. Conda create. N is for name. Free mocap -env Python equals 3.7. That's creating an Anaconda environment with Python 3.7. Basically, sort of an encapsulated sort of installation of Python that you can sort of add stuff to and pip install into it that doesn't affect other projects on your computer. super useful. So then I say conda activate free mocap dash env. Ah, yes. I can do that too. And I do this over. Yeah, there you go. Also, color. Color 3. Ah. Ooh. See, green text. That's how you know you're a real hacker. Hacker man, hacker guy, hacker person. Okay. So I am in now. I'm out in the free mocap environment, and I'm gonna pip install free mocap. Go. We have entered the matrix. You can tell because it's green. See, MediaPipe's already in there. I know Kung Fu. 1999 that movie came out. I saw that in theaters with my dad and brother. Came out, it was like, holy shit, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. It still is. That's probably not true. It's definitely not true, but it was a very good movie, and sort of, I'm happy to have seen it in theaters. I know, right? Ancient. Basically dead. No, I am a, yeah. I feel like I probably saw it twice too. I don't know. It seemed like something I would do. If I didn't see it twice, I bootlegged it quickly off of like Napster. Wasn't like was 99 Napster? Were we on like BearShare or LimeWire at that point? I feel like we may have been. I am not 50. I am a prime number less than 40. Oof. Dissection videos. Correct. Nailed it. That's exactly right. Oh my god. I am like running out of brain juices. I had a meeting, like an in-person meeting on campus. My blue skull? Where's my blue skull? Be this guy. johnmathis.com / nope, not that one. johnmathis.com. There we go. Look at that guy. Look at that cool guy. Get bigger. Dun dun dun. Look at this friendly guy. I do. I need that guy everywhere. Are you downloading? What's your deal? Thank you. It was actually kind of a lot of work because I wanted the sparkle skull to be like part of the vibe, and it was a fair amount of work to like come up because I was working with like a sort of a designer to make the website and the logo and all that. Friend of mine that I also paid. It's good to be funded. Okay. Pip install is installing. And it was a challenge to make a skeleton that looked friendly. We went through a lot of skull logos that did not look friendly. They were like sort of like little like edgelordy, which is not the vibe. But this guy looks super chill. He looks very happy. Yeah, okay. Are we installing? Yeah, there's a lot. It needs to install a lot of stuff, unfortunately. I I used to do a lot of martial arts back in the day. I did kung fu actually, and then because I moved a lot, and so every time I moved, I would like change styles, and I shifted away from martial arts in my like early 20s, I guess, because I kind of got like burnt out on like fighting styles. And these days I do more circusy stuff, so like the juggling and all that like is part. Oh right, yeah, the thing, yeah. You put me in front of a camera, so it's gonna happen. But the circusy stuff that is sort of the progenitor of like the juggling came out of the martial arts thing, because I kind of like, you do martial arts when you're younger, and then you kind of get to a certain point, and it's like, maybe I shouldn't have my hobbies be like fighting people, and maybe I shouldn't like. And I also like I reached like adulthood and realized that I was like a heavyweight, and I was like, this hobby will give me concussions. This is not a great hobby. So I shifted to more performance-y stuff, and I don't regret it. I don't unicycle. I would like to unicycle, but I would also like to use Serial. Okay. I do slackline. I slackline. I do silks. I juggle. I do partner acrobatics. I want to do Serial, but like I've been waiting to try Serial because like it's one of the only circus apparati that I've like never touched, and so I want to do all of my training for Serial while being motion captured, and have that be like part of a research project. Serial is this. It is cool. You got any? Where's your gifts? Give me some gifts, y'all. Where you at? Where you at? GIF. Ooh, that's cool. That's Serial. Okay, this is why we have notebooks. I have literally been planning where was that? That was March? That's summer. It's October. September. This is from August 2019. My plan to do a combination of juggling, slacklining, and unicycling as like a motor training project. This was the plan. That was my research plan, was to like get myself to a point where I can juggle on a unicycle on a slackline and then motion capture that like as part of a research project. And that was literally my plan for my lab, and then the pandemic happened and my plans changed. But we'll get there though. We'll still get there. So now I've been holding off on and I actually do have some video. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Is this the one I want? Yeah. That's from my big lab. And I like this video a lot. This is actually made in Blender by one of my students. Oh, here's the lab itself. Traditional motion capture. This is my friend Steve, who's a performer. But like, the lab is actually not quite. Anyway, that's fine. And then let's see. Everything else we're showing? I don't know. Anyways, so that's Serial. Yeah, I mean that's what you get for $250,000. uh, so that's kind of that's the traditional method for motion capture. Um, Super high quality, super fast. But oh yeah, center of mass, that's coming. Better believe that's coming. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, right. So this is not quite that quality, but it's also like um, 3 order of magnitudes cheaper, which is kind of what you want. Okay, so FreeMoCap has installed on this. Let's see what it looks like. IPython. So we'll open up a quick sort of Python terminal, and we should be able to say import FreeMoCap as FMC. There that is. And then FMC dot. We got demo? No, we don't. We do have run me. Oh, run demo. Let's see what run demo does. I literally don't know. So this is the little GUI, and I don't think this yes button does anything. So say no, and then it says yeah. Where you at? What's going on? What's going on? Why are you being weird? Something's going on with this command window. Let's make a new one. No, that was I did that in the Google Colab. I like cloned the repository and changed that. So this doesn't have that. A nice blue. I think it was just something weird. Like sometimes it feels like the terminal kind of gets lost. It gets loses track of which line it's on. That's why there was like a little thing at the bottom, and like it was updating strangely. Like I had to hit enter for it to like progress, which shouldn't have to happen, but we just restarted. It's fine. Yeah, it is. It's not tracked very well. I put markings on it to try to make it easier to track, but it doesn't quite work. So you can see where it is on the board, which is important. But you can't really tell like up or down on it, which doesn't really matter. At some point, probably, I think in conjunction with when MediaPipe works, I'm going to make another version of this that instead of that calculates center of mass, and then shows center of mass relative to the board. Maybe this video, maybe another video similar to it. Probably one without juggling. I don't know. We'll see. Because I do a lot of center of mass stuff in my life. And the wobble board. So right now, this animation above me is focusing on the juggling balls. That's why all the analysis is about the juggling balls. But there's another thing going on here, which is like the full body balancing thing on the juggling board, which is sort of like it's present, but it's not highlighted at all. So at some point, I'll make a new iteration of this visualization or something like it. Probably not the same one, because that kind of defeats the purpose of having a system that can record these things. But it'll be an analysis that focuses on the center of mass and the balancing aspect of things. We'll get there. Okay, import FreeMoCap as FMC. FMC dot. The run demo, it probably does work, but I would have to download um, the sample data, which like lives on Figshare or something like that, and I don't have the energy to do that, to sort of figure out where that lives and how it wants to be and all that. We'll get there, but this should just work. For the record, Micon, the thing I deleted from the requirements was Deep Lab Cut, which is the toolbox that sort of is the build your own tracking algorithm that is tracking like the juggling ball and the wobble board in the video above me. It's another piece of like sort of academic open source code, so it's great for what it does, but it can be a bit janky, and it's hard to make things that install cleanly. I'll say that. Bye, Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see Tuesday on a Thursday. Oh. Doink. Where are you currently saved at? Add a file path. Oh. This is... Oh. Dead cat? Hello. Would you like to see a live cat? Here's a live cat. Don't worry, Pooh. Dead cat can't hurt you. No matter how many of them there are, even if there's 0. Arrival! Arrival of dead cat is a live cat. Well, thank you both for joining the Who's It. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's see here. Where did I put that guy? Schrodinger's dead's alive. There. Blah. I woke her up for this. Let's see. Dropbox. Where did I put you? Where did I put you? DLC models. There we go. There we go. Ooh. Nice. Cool. She does need a treat. She doesn't really like treats, actually. I have 2 cats. One of them does like treats, but she doesn't really go for them. She just likes being pet. I never really tried the catnip thing. I should. These are... I got these both cats in October of last year. I should try catnip. She's like... Bleh. Alright, what are we looking at now? What are you doing over here? Something's weird, like it's needing... Okay. Alright, so we're getting there. So these are my cameras. Don't drug the feline. I don't know, do you want to be drugged? You can be drugged. I want to put you down, okay? Okay. So then you select... Okay. This is not a very good tutorial because I keep getting distracted. But so basically you import FreeMocap as FMC, fmc.runme. It sort of detects how many cameras you have attached to your computer, and then pops this up, which you then select that. Let's say setup. And then this pops up. This is what I mean when I said that like it pops up GUIs kind of like as needed for like all the various tasks. Oh, does it not recognize FLIR cameras? That would be unfortunate. Okay. Good to know. I have some FLIR cameras here. We'll see what we can do to get them to wake up. That's surprising to me, actually. I thought that it would. But thank you. Actually, Albert, would you mind, Hotus, Albert? Would you mind putting that as an issue in the GitHub repository? Just like, uh, on the GitHub in the issues, just like make a new issue and just say like FLIR camera is not detected, because that's important for you and also the world. And I actually have some FLIR cameras here, so I can test that out and see if we can get that working. But thank you for trying and testing and discovering that it doesn't work and then reporting us. Oh yeah, this one's image. Okay. Focus, Johnny. Focus. So I have one, two. Do I have 3 cameras? I guess I have this camera, but that's active. It's probably seeing the other one. I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's say yes. Oh yeah. So that's me. That's also me. Yeah, so you're still working with the sort of OpenPose like 3D reconstruction standard guy, which I think is the right move for you, because you have it working, and even though it might be obnoxious, it exists and it works. But I'm happy that you are following this here, because my hope is that before all too long, I'll have something that will be competitive with that. And then this camera here, this is actually not a camera. This is I think this is like OBS like made like a virtual camera on my machine, and I can't get it to go away. But yeah, so that's the one. Okay. By next year, this will be in a much better place, I think. I keep thinking about that when I get kind of like overwhelmed with like how much work there is to do on it, in order to get it from like where it is to where I want it to be. I just kind of like zoom out and just be like, okay, like in a year, it'll be in a much better place. Like, don't think about where like what you want to do in a week. Like in a year, like we're academics, we work on like long, slow time scales. But like this time, 2022, it'll definitely be. Well, it'll hopefully be something you could use. So I'm gonna push go here, but it's not gonna work. Both because there's no Charuko board present. Actually, maybe I can do this. Let's do this. But it's not going to like it because one of those cameras that I selected was not a real camera. Also, I think this is the wrong Charuko board. Yeah, see, like this third camera here, like these ones are doing fine, but this third one's, it's not a real camera, so it's gonna have issues. So yeah. So this is the thing that's telling me about the quality of the recording I just did. And what you want is for like all of, this is camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, these are the timestamps. What you want is for this to have like 3 that are the same slope, but this sort of false camera only got like 5 frames, so it's not happy. I don't know what's gonna happen if I click proceed. Let's find out. It's actually doing a lot better than I thought it would. Oh, did it work? Does this Charuko board work? I've had this here for a long time. I wasn't ever sure. So it's currently going through, this is AnyPose right now. And this is going through trying to find a solution to like, find find a solution for the camera positions that can be used for the reconstruction. Yeah, but it's not going to work. And now it is running OpenPose on the videos that were recorded. This takes a long time. Also because it can't really see me because I'm covering my body. Because I'm sitting down, I'm out of frame, and I'm covering myself with this thing. But let's let this run through. We'll see what happens. So I currently don't have the mental capacity to make a tutorial on this, but this experience has really. But what I've learned on this stream is that it would actually be pretty easy for me to make a real tutorial. Yeah, see, that's what you see. That's what you get. Oh, and then it's trying to run Deep Lab Cut, and how's it doing? It's trying to run Deep Lab Cut, which is good. But yeah, so I will make a tutorial video and put it up on YouTube and link it to the GitHub. Or link it to the README documentation and the website. I'll be doing a bunch of stuff. Oh, look at that. It's garbage, but it did something. What are these white dots? Oh, actually, that's me. If I could pause this, I could show. I mean, there you go. What more could you want? I'm actually shocked that worked at all. Let's do that again. Let's get like a real. I can do something more interesting with that. Okay, let's do that again. Just to get a little bit of get something a little more interesting going on here. Okay, so IPython import FreeMocap as FMC. There's actually so MediaPipe, that's kind of one of their main sort of models is like, you know, like how to lift your like detecting yoga poses and stuff like that, which is cool. Thank you, Mycon. That has been bothering me for a while. Let's see, where are you at? C/program. OBS Studios. Is that? I don't think so. OBS Studio plugin. There we go. Get out of here. Oh, fine. Thank you. I'll delete System32. That's a good idea. I'll do that. I'll do that later. And then I'll enter my password because it gets replaced with stars. It's super cool. I want to see my enter 2. That's my password for everything. Nice. Congratulations. I also have Qualisys on my end. You'll figure out what to do with it. Actually, use DLC equals false. Look at that. Oh man. Thank you for saving me from that virtual camera. It's super dark in here. I am bright as the light. I think I want 90. Mwah. Okay. This is still set up. Okay, cool. So if I sit. Okay. All right. That was an actual recording with 2 cameras. So now we have camera 1, camera 2. The timestamps by frames. Probably, but now I know how to now I know how to free myself from that world too. So that's good too. So we have 2 cameras. They no big frame drops, which is good. Proceed. It's currently, let's see, 60 boards detected, which is good because it's using the first 2 seconds, which means that it detected. Okay, now we're going through. This is AnyPose. That's a good question. So how accurate it is depends on a lot of things. Like the cameras and the lighting and the setup and all that stuff. It is perfectly happy crunching just 2 cameras. The main issue with 2 cameras is you get a lot of like occlusions and dropouts and stuff like that. But for something like this, I think this actually should produce something that looks pretty good, I think. Mr. SquarePeg, the magician knows what's up. The magician knows what's coming. Also, it's dark in this room, so there's like a little bit of blur when I'm moving my hands. But Mr. SquarePeg, we're working on the accuracy. I think we can get it to be quite accurate. I've done a little bit of comparison between my traditional Qualisys data and this data, and it tracks pretty well. But I don't have what I would call like really a good comparison. But it's I'm a scientist. That's my use case. So it's important for me that this produces research grade data, which research grade means like good enough to do research with. But one thing you could be looking at here is like if you look at this video, the reconstructions of the skeleton versus the juggling balls and the wobble board are independent of each other. There's actually no reason to expect that the balls would land on the hand because they're being reconstructed independently. And you would kind of, the fact, I haven't looked at the trajectories of the balls, but they look nicely parabolic to me. I don't impose any kind of gravity. What I could do is I could calculate the acceleration and see if it is 9.8 meters per second squared, which I haven't done, but it does look parabolic. So there's a lot of reason to think that it's quite accurate. But how accurate is it? I mean, it's a question that kind of is dependent on a lot of things. So what I will say about that, it is currently as bad as it will ever be, because it's just going to get better over time. And, you know, new tracking softwares will come out there, the code will get better, we'll find different ways of doing inverse kinematic solvers, as the magician correctly predicted. And how are we doing over here? There I am. There you go. That's me. The visualization needs some work. But it looks pretty good, I think. So this is using PyQt Graph, which is it's basically OpenGL. It's not basically, it is OpenGL for the visualization. It's, you know, obviously a pretty basic visualization here, just connecting some dots, and like I'm not even connecting the dots on the hands. Current options for output are not many. Let's see, where did that get saved to? I think I actually wound up saving that in this, like, my user folder. So I think this is the folder. Actually, you can close this, and then you can, yeah, and then you're gonna try to process that video. Oh. So it doesn't save the video. It probably won't successfully save the video, but that's fine. So this is the folder that was produced. So the raw videos are here. The synchronized videos are here. The OpenPose data, you know, is here. Yeah, I feel like Mr. Square Peg. It's kind of like, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I mean, I think, you know, like many things, there's kind of like a right tool for the job kind of thing. You know, the Vive tracking pucks are probably quite accurate, but that's a dedicated hardware solution. So, you know, trying to do fully markerless tracking through webcams is kind of a different space than like dedicated proprietary hardware tracking solutions. So will I be able to like rival the accuracy of your Vive pucks? I don't know, but you're not going to attach 60 Vive pucks to your face and track your face. So, you know, tools for the job kind of thing. But anyways, Micon, the data that gets produced is this is pretty much where the data gets saved out to, and it's just in these basically NPY files, which is just like a NumPy file that contains a NumPy array. And the NumPy array, so we have the 2D data. The current iteration of the code won't be happy with a single camera yet. We're working, it's one of these dumb things, like we want to make like a single camera mode just basically as like an easy way to like process data through like your OpenPoses and whatnot. But at the moment, it's binary. How can I show it to you? I guess I can show that to you in MATLAB. Can I? So it's basically it's just a data array. It's like a, do I have, let's see, read NPY, do I have you? In here, add path gen path cd. Okay, and then scale frame margin equals read npy. And then I say ha. Good night, Albert. Say hello to the Dutch. And that, and that, and I think that will work. Yes. Oh, where'd it go? So this is the data, such as it is. Wonderful. Hello, Dutch people. So it's currently, it is a three-dimensional array where first dimension is the number is, so it's frame, scale, frame, marker, dimension. So it's 175 frames, 137 markers, 3 dimensions, XYZ. And then the data is also open pose data 2D. And then, oh, come on, coward. The 2D data is a similar vibe, but it's got a 4th dimension for the number of cameras. So it's the number of cameras, number of frames, number of markers, number of dimensions. So this is kind of the, this is the most raw data you can have. It's just literally like an array of numbers that basically correspond to joint centers. So the body stuff corresponds to joint centers. The hand, I guess, also corresponds to joint centers. And then the face is just denoting these like face key points. And I have been working with an animator who's been trying to help basically, oh yeah, here we go. Here's the video. There we go. Yay. That's me. Oh, great. Glad you like that. So basically, that's the data output that we have. And then a lot of people have been asking for like FBX, which I don't really know much about FBX, but it seems like this could be, so like, like putting it into like a hierarchical format where you have like parent and child linkages and, whatever. Like basically just like restructuring that code to like map onto like a skeleton rig or something. Is something that's going to be coming down the pipe. But for now, I'm kind of like treating it in the raw. We're basically just like, so right now it's basically just like it's just a scatter plot of a bunch of 3D dots. And then you connect the dots, but like that's just aesthetic. Like there's no real linkage going on there. But we'll get there. Okay, so that was fun. I kind of forget. It's like in my head, I was like, oh, well, I can't do a recording now because it's too much work. But like, it's actually not any work anymore. Now it just works. It's great. Like the cameras are attached to my wall. I just pip install the thing, run it, and then like, here you go. Here's a skeleton. And even in this context, where like, it's dark in here, like the cameras aren't set up right. I apparently it does work with this. That was awesome. That's actually a discovery that you can just hold that up. So currently there's no roll twist angle. No, it's basically just tracking joint centers. So if we wanted to get like roll, we'd have to infer it from like inverse kinematics or something like that, which is a whole vibe there, of course. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with this. That worked out pretty well. And it's good to know that, so this is just like it's like a regular old printout from a printer. Like you don't need the big poster board. Yeah, so that's actually so the big expensive mocap has a skeleton solver. So it starts by, let's see if I can pull this up. Uh, do 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 do. What was it called? Force plates video overlay. So, like the markers that are being used here, like those are little like blue and green dots. Like those correspond to like little reflective markers that are attached to, to Steve's body. The orange sort of bone stick guys. Yeah, so it uses the markers, and then you click like solve skeletons, and then it does some proprietary under the hood thing that they don't tell you, and builds a skeleton, and the skeleton does have roll. So like the long axes have like 3 degrees of freedom or whatever, or 6 degrees of freedom for the joints. Um, so the trick would, oh, look how cool this is. Like this is the arrow, the vector from the force plate going straight through his body. It's the whole thing. So basically, as someone, who was it? The magician Gur, who popped out of nowhere to just drop some facts about inverse kinematic solvers. That is actually the next step. So I consider like what we've been kind of working on so far is kind of mostly working with like raw data, like the stuff you're looking at like up here. That's just getting you like points, like data, like 3D data, 3D dots floating in space. Which the next level of that is to then use that basically raw data. This is no longer purely raw. This has actually been smooth, but it's still raw. And then use those raw data points to use inverse kinematic solvers to fit an anatomically constrained skeleton, and from that you could derive joint roll and things like that. I don't know exactly how that will work, but I believe that it can. And won't that be fun? Okay. I'm tired. And I'm happy with how that went. So, I guess I'll raid y'all. Who shall I raid y'all to? Twitch. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. It's getting into like a really fun space.
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
that's me.
Like it's getting.
Who do we have online? Code Miko. It's got too many people. Who's this person? Oh, they're doing Blender. Oh, shut up. I will raid y'all here. Raid y'all to them, to Nova Villain. As they are blendering. But yeah, thanks y'all for sticking around, and thanks for showing up. And I'll be back here next week, Thursday afternoons from roughly 4 to 6. What's the word? Eastern United States time, if you're into that. That's pretty cool. So I'm excited to rig y'all to send y'all up here. Yeah, good seeing you too, Mycon. Nice to see familiar faces around here. All right, so who are we doing? Nova Villain. All right, cool, y'all. Catch you around. Wait, how do I do this? Oh, I have to wait. And then 3, 2, 1. Raid now. Bye.
That are parts that are broken, etc. I think with the modifier, the bevel, and the tool here, I can get cooler stuff. I think if I continue my work here, it's gonna go. Also, are we gonna raid? That's alright. I like this little scene. Thanks, Jill. And then, hold on, who told